All right, let's try this again, see if this works better now. Okay, seems like apparently I can't handle or my computer can't handle 4 live streams of the same quality. Kind of sad. But I guess we just won't be doing it on Twitch and Rumble at the same time and just do YouTube for now. Cuz until they can really come up with like the double one, I think it'll be yeah. But I think the quality it seems really bad on the live stream though. When I downgrade it to 1080. It's China's fault, not my PC. Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know. I it might be my graphics card. I can't handle like more than one maybe. Because it's a RX 9070 XT. But I think it should be able to, right? So I don't know. Maybe I need a better graphics card. Could you do gameplay video? I mean, if anything, it would be for like viewers, like a live stream, right? But yeah, I have 1 gig internet, but I don't think the actual problem is the bandwidth because on my OBS it says that it's like overloaded on the hardware. Sound is very tiny, but I'm speaking into the is graphics card is an AMD RX 9070 XT. But now it's saying my vertical streams like bit rate is lower than recommended bit rate. So I don't know why it's giving me that warning. Oh well. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, I don't really know what the issue is right now. So the bit rate is like the amount of bandwidth that you give to the live stream. So I have for example, the one for the vertical one I had it at 8,000, which is around 8 megabytes. But tiny. Oh, not tiny. Tinny? What is tinny? No bass, but that's just might be me. Don't worry about it. Okay, anyways, let's get into our topic today because we can't just waste time on this now. Um, so obviously you guys know Hasan was in China, and for the first few days, I honestly didn't think much about it, considering the fact that he's just in Beijing, whatnot. But then he started to basically defend a lot of the things that had been going on in China. One of the ones that he defended here is gay dating
Trying to
apps in
block
China.
gay dating apps? I don't think that's true. I think you saw that on Twitter. I don't know if that's true. Chatter, this is exactly what I mean. If you get your notes from Twitter, which by the way, like you'll see, we're about to go to Chengdu. What's really funny about this is like China's gay as hell. Like just watch the stream and you will see. Um like Austin's been on the apps. That's so funny. There is like, I mean, it's true. Apple removes Chinese gay dating apps on government order. Okay, but that's Apple. Blued and Finca, two of China's most popular gay dating apps, suddenly disappeared from Apple's Chinese App Store, fanning fears among LGBTQ people. Dude, that's Apple.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like on my end, it just says the quality is really bad. But anyways, so with Hasan Piker, he's like basically saying that, oh yeah, China's like, don't worry, like they're not, you know, they're not banning like LGBTQ stuff. But the reality is in China, like it's very, it's actually, yeah, like if you're in that group, uh, like there's no rights or anything like that, right? But the issue is not really that, because the issue is more like, okay, so whatever you want to do, like in the West, right? He criticizes. But if this was the case where, the United States, like the US Apple Store, banned these apps, like, I don't know what they use, but let's say Tinder, right? Tinder is a dating app. I don't know what the equivalent is called. I think it's called Grinder, right? For gay men. If that was banned, I think Hasan would be very much over, like angry over that, right? If that was banned. But it's just okay that when China bans it, that he's like, oh, look, my friend Austin, who's gay, he's in China, he's been using those apps. That means it's okay. So it's like anytime something like this happens in China, it seems like it's okay. But when it happens in the US, it's not okay. So you see the hypocrisy there. His interaction with the cops in Tiananmen Square. As long as the cop is Chinese, then the cop is okay. But if it's an American cop, that's just, cops are bad, right? Cops are racist and cops are, you know, the worst human beings. But when it comes to China, as long as they're Chinese cops, that's okay. But also the other one is like he also did other stuff. Like he complained about how when he went to Japan, nobody was complaining.
I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be able to actually experience it firsthand, right? But of course, all the foreign affairs people who are aware of me are not very fond of my they're not very fond of my China trip. Hassan Piker slowly becoming the new Jackson Hinkle, doing Chinese propaganda for a living. Insane. Yeah, it's stuff like this. It's stuff like this that I find to be so strange because, like, you should be able to go to countries, okay? Like, there is no comparison between China and like Israel, for example. You know what I mean? Like, nobody gives me this much grief when I go to Japan. Okay? Like, nobody's like, dude, I can't believe you've traveled to Japan and you love. Oh God, this guy's mentality is so stupid. Three people.
Okay, so if he goes to Japan, obviously no one's going to say anything because Japan isn't literally committing genocide against at least one ethnic group in China, but also they're literally putting people into jail and harvesting their organs. So that's the other issue. It's that, okay, genocide in Gaza. Obviously, Hassan is very much, supporting the end of genocide in Gaza. But if it's a genocide in China, he doesn't mention it. So that's the issue too. When it's a genocide, it's okay as long as it's in China. But when it's a genocide outside of China, well, I think for Hassan that seems to be excusable, or not excusable if when it's outside of China, but it's excusable when it's inside China. And also because Japan is not a dictatorship, as this tweet here mentions, and you get to actually complain about the government if you wanted to. It's something that you're allowed to do. But in China, if you complain to the government, well, you either one, you get blacklisted, or you get uh, coerced by the police into like staying silent on whatever issue you have. And then also this one here, where he gets a Mao's Red Book. just on screen. Of course, like the iShowSpeed live stream, this is all staged. Like nobody in China actually goes around carries a Mao's handbook anymore. These are literally given to people who are obsessed with socialism and communist China.
Oh, no way!
It's a small one.
And it's the first version.
It's the first. Wait.
Really?
Is that a Bible?
No, that's a little red book.
It is basically.
The little red book?
The little red book.
It's the red.
Like these guys don't realize what that book actually means. That book is literally the result. All of the I did a video on this. You guys can go look it up. All of the cultural issues, all of the bad mannerisms, all of the Chinese reception of China, all of the negative reputations of the Chinese people was because of Mao Zedong. Mao was really into crude languages, combative languages, vulgar languages, vulgar actions, the Red Guards, and all of those things was to destroy the inner virtues and the moral values of the Chinese people. And that's not the worst thing it's done. It's Mao's policies directly led to 3 years of famine. And in those 3 years of famine, there were cases of cannibalism, tree eating. There's something called a Buddhitsava dirt, which is essentially it's a people eating dirt, but to make it sound like it's good, they called it a fancy Buddhist name. But people resorted to eating tree barks, dirt, and people in order to survive those 3 years of famine. And those are Mao's policies and the Cultural Revolution, obviously. The reason we even have Xi Jinping today was because of the Cultural Revolution. It destroyed any form of class and culture influences that the Chinese history had on this people. It destroyed religions. All of the issues today, you can trace it back to China in the 1950s and 1960s under Mao. And so this obsession with Mao Zedong's Red Handbook is like, you can only find this when a person that wasn't born in China go to China and get. Genocide is still happening in Xinjiang to this day. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing that people think, like, dude, oh, there's no genocide in Xinjiang, right? There's genocide in Gaza. You can see hundreds of videos coming out of Gaza, but you can't see a single video coming out of China. There's a reason for that. There's something called a Great Firewall of the CCP. Because through that and a huge amount of surveillance, all of it is controlled. There's no way that you can see any truth about the genocide. Ethan Gutman has a book on this. He did a lot of research on this. He was in, I won't say where he was because, you know, it's about his safety, but Ethan Gutman had information coming out that in some of these Xinjiang prison camps, they have a crematorium next to it. What do you think they need a crematorium next to a prison camp for? Are people dying because of old age in those camps and then they need to be cremated? No, it's because they're literally putting people in there and they're taking their organs. Falun Gong practitioners, one of the earliest huge group in China to face the forced organ harvesting, 2005, 2006, that's when the allegations first came out. And in those times, nobody would believe that forced organ harvesting was real. Until a lot of people didn't believe it until recently with the case of Yu Menglong, then people started realizing that, in fact, well, the Chinese regime is doing some horrible stuff with people, plastinations and all those things, right? So just because you go to China, you go to tier 1 cities, by the way, they go to tier 1 cities in China. You're not going to find anything wrong with it. You go to Tiananmen Square, you're not going to find a protest there. This was hilarious. So Hasan Piker and company were in a Mercedes-Benz van traveling China. That's like me going to North Korea and, you know, riding inside a limousine and going through the Potemkin village and then pretending that that's North Korea. It's pretty insane to me. This is also funny. Some people on Reddit, like Chinese people, are like, we don't like you. Dude, it's pretty crazy. And then Hasan Piker did this interview with a CCP literal state media journalist called Li Jingjing, or Jingjing Li. And in this interview, he basically says that his mission is to spread the image of China. what do you think China does to hire these people to come to China for? It's to paint this image that China is great. He's being paid, obviously being paid. Yeah, I think so too. Didn't expect to see Hasan here a lot. No, it's because, a lot of viewers telling me to cover this, so I thought I would just do an episode on this. And honestly, you know what? Whatever Hasan wants to do, it's fine. Like, he has influence, he's rich, he's got money. Anything to make money, right? Even if it includes supporting a literal genocidal regime, and that's totally fine. Send Hasan to Indonesia. Why you banana Asian guys still streaming? I don't know. I like it. But yeah, okay, so she did this, right? And then this is who she is. So this woman is like a actual state media propagandist. Like, she's her entire job is to do English content for the Western audience to see. And this is her doing a stand-up comedy.
This is why it's even more important for everyone to know and remember that World War II involved multiple continents, affected many countries, and is indisputably a tragedy for everyone on Earth. Maybe not the penguins and polar bears. Imagine if someone curated an exhibition of German art and featured all of Hitler's paintings. Then you have to ask yourself this question. Do they want to show the history of paintings, or is this the history they really want to paint? Because they could die from it. I'm sure you all know that Japan is a leading country with the best
This is supposed to be a stand-up comedy show, by the way.
burn ointment and other skincare products alike. It's largely because the data needed was harvested from real human experiments that will never fly under today's medical ethics code. And I know how people say, come on, why can't you guys just get over it? Like this guy. Who got over this? Germans? Jewish people? Who is everybody? Even the new
Like, nothing's funny about this. I don't get it. Like, none of this is stand-up comedy. I think there's another one. Let me try to find it. Oh yeah, Hasan Piker went to the Huawei store in China and just freaking out over everything.
You can use it as a keyboard, right?
Yeah, it's so sick. This is unfortunately not allowed in our country. They won't let it in America. Yeah.
Well, okay, so U.S. has banned Huawei's sales. It's not like if you walk in the U.S., they're going to put you in cuffs. It's just you can't buy one in the U.S.
You can buy. If you have some subject.
By the way, that was awesome. Who keeps setting off the alarm?
Yeah, this is the trifold one here.
Trifold is cool. What?
Yep.
Dude, they are on a
How
fucking wavelength.
How does this one fit?
Yeah,
And
they're on a different.
Dude, it's so blatantly a propaganda tour. That part of this is like you have to go visit a Huawei store. You got to go to the Forbidden City and see the flag. You probably got to go to Shanghai and see whatever the skyline, the LED lights are. You got to go to like other parts of this. So all of the entirety of the tour is like hitting those spots that gets highlighted on the daily by these videos from China, and like freaking out over Huawei phones. Like, imagine if I went to the Apple store and just like freaked out because their iPads can connect to a keyboard. Like, what does that have anything to do with the real China? It doesn't. Like, clearly IShowSpeed had to do a live stream. I think at one point he held up a Chinese phone as well. I'm pretty sure like these guys are contracted to do these things. And then the issue with me is that I know this is not how China is. Okay, so I'll show you some videos of what the real China is. And these are, by the way, just from the recent week. You can find a lot of these on the daily from Chinese internet users who send these videos out to Western accounts like this one, Teacher Lee. Okay, so this in the city of Shenzhen. So this is a major tier 1 city. You have electrical appliance factory workers who have been owed wages by the factory, and so they're blocking the gate. They're protesting for their wage. In China, it's a very common phenomenon for lower wage earners or laborers, like labor workers, to not receive their pay on time because, well, they're running out of money. A lot of times the factory owners even run away before they pay these workers. And if you work in a factory compound, especially in the electronics business, you usually stay in the compound and you get a dorm and you work like 15 hours a day and you get overtime pay. That's how you get a lot of money for working as a factory worker. So there's protests. Hasan's not going to see this. This one here, this is in Henan province in the city of Kaifeng. A bus driver posted a video complaining that the salary for bus drivers have been cut again and again. He left a message in the comment section saying that the salary has already dropped from over 7,000 to more than 3,000 now. So 7,000 yuan, it's only about 1,000 USD. 3,000 is like 200 no. 3,000 will be 400 USD. And then so this guy can only get to eat white buns for breakfast now. Hoop, thank you for the $5. Hasan thinks just because he tried to cook his dog that makes him Chinese. Dude, I don't know how to respond to that. That's kind of right, but also kind of but thanks for the donation. So yeah, Hasan should have stayed in China if he loved it so much. So will the Chinese show how bad wages have become in China? Probably not. This is from September 15th this year. This is a line for the US Embassy in Beijing. Every single day in China, there's 2 places in Beijing that will always have people there. The first one is the US Embassy in China. Chinese people wanting to get visas or to get green cards, apply for them, go to appointments, interviews, whatnot, every single day in front of the US Embassy in China, which is in Beijing. The second place also in Beijing is the National Bureau for Petition. So essentially, they have this place set up where you can go petition for your problems, your miseries, or how the government has wronged you, right? Maybe you got abused by the government. You can go to the petition office. You can submit a petition. Now, the caveat of this is like they never really solve the issue. They rarely solve it, but you still have an outlet you can go to line up and submit your petition application. So those are the 2 places in Beijing every single day that you have people lining up. Okay. Next one. This is the evening of September 17th in Guangdong, in Zhuhai City, near Gongbei Railway Station. A random attack occurred where a man wielded a dagger and stabbed 4 or 5 passerbys on the street. Subsequently, numerous security guards subdued him with steel forks, pinning him down to the ground and restraining him. Now, China always claims that they're super safe, that there's no violence, crimes, whatnot. These don't get talked about by the state media, and they don't get talked about by Hasan Piker or anybody that visits China. This one here, this is in Guangdong in Yangjiang City. A lot of these delivery drivers don't have a order for delivery, so they just sit there and they just sit in their little scooters and they don't really have anything to do because there's a huge saturation of delivery drivers, not enough jobs at times. So yeah, the economy is not good. You're not going to see this on Hasan Piker's tour. This one here, multiple places. November 14th at the Yingxi Guest House in Shenghe District, Shenyang City, which is in northeastern China, workers accused a China Railway-related project of withholding wages and demanding payments. Again, not being paid on time. November 16th, a wage dispute occurred at the project undertaken by China Construction's 7th Engineering Bureau in Yunnan, with workers resorting to blocking the entrance with vehicles to assert their rights, likely also because they weren't paid enough. On the same day, Shanxi Deyu Agricultural, this is 3 different cities, Agricultural Trade Company Limited was reported for withholding migrant workers' wages for as long as 10 years, with workers collectively demanding their payments. Last but not least, in addition, the Hongyang Field affiliated contracting company at the Poly construction site in Haiju District, Guangzhou City, also exposed for withholding wages with workers going to the site to assert their rights. Lots of these problems of not being paid on time. In a country that is supposedly a socialist, communist, state, where the proletariat class, the workers, are supposed to be the core of society in that ideological, I don't know what to call it, dream or pretending like it's possible. The proletariat class is supposed to have risen up and becoming the owners of society, right? Reaching the state of communism. Every worker to each their, what did Marx say? To each their ability, for each their need, something like that, right? Or the fact that to seize the means of production is to control the whole production line. So in those instances of Marxist or socialist utopias like China wants to be, the workers aren't being paid on time. How's that possible? Well, it turns out China's not as great as Hasan Piker thinks it is. Hey David, I'm from India. Love your vids. Keep making them, sir. Thank you very much. Delivery drivers earn a living wage, yes, but also no, because their living wage is like, they can live on that wage, but they also work like 16 hours a day, Adonis, thank you very much for the happy poop for 10 joules. Bro, in India, the Christmas cookies are seriously made as dirty as possible. I don't know what that means. Why do I hate China? From Roblox official. I don't hate China. I'm just thinking that there's a lot of issues with China that's not being talked about. Okay, let's move on to more stuff. Here, videos showing that delivery drivers are, again, losing a lot of the orders. There's a lot of people who during work hours have no delivery orders because, this is 9 to 5. It's not lunchtime, so people don't have orders. So essentially they have to sit outside all day waiting for those orders. Jack Tripper, thanks for the donation. Hey David, what is the single fastest way to instantly nuke my social credit score? Love the channel, been here since you were 10,000 subs. Well, thank you very much. Fastest way to nuke your social credit score? Well, I think you probably want to not pay back your loan, plus talk badly about the CCP on Chinese social media, and then you probably lose your freedom and benefit forever. Okay, another one of those cases where they're not being paid on time. This has happened on November 10th in Wenzhou City in Zhejiang Province. Transportation workers demanding their securities and retirement funds, and they're gathering to discuss. This one here, multiple workers laying on the ground in front of a railway construction bureau. No idea why, but the video has since been deleted. And this one here, another case of a indiscriminate rampage committed by a person inside a schoolyard. And this is all, by the way, happening in the span of a week or so. So if I go back a month, you can find way more. Every single day in China, there's a lot of issues that is being brushed off by people like Hasan, because the CCP wants people like Hasan to become the influencers that they need so that they can go out and pretend like the country is a normal country, which is absolutely not. I'll show you a few examples of why the country is not normal. So recently, Japan has been in essentially this bullied role, a victim from the CCP aggression. Right. So in Japan, the Japanese prime minister basically voiced her support of Taiwan. And in turn, the CCP started to play victims and claiming that, they're the ones who is being bullied. But while their general consul in Osaka threatened to chop the head off of the Japanese prime minister. So the bully is crying out to become the victim. And one of the ways that they say that we're being bullied is that they want Chinese tourists to not go to Japan. But the Chinese tourists didn't listen. So here is a report from Japanese media. I think this is NHK, but it shows Chinese tourists continue to arrive in Japan and visiting. This is the Haneda airport. So these are all just Chinese tourists here. So it didn't do anything to stop the Chinese tourists from coming to Japan. And then inside China, you have things like this. There's like Japanese soldier-esque, those boxing machines, like the punching machines that test you how strong you are with your punch. This is one where test how nationalistic you are and how hateful you are, and you punch the Japanese imperialist soldiers. This was a public crash out video from when Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. Like, a U.S. politician going to Taiwan is enough to cause people to have a crash out. Isn't that crazy? This is some just yearly injection of patriotic boosters in China. I can't show you the audio because they usually have copyright to it. Like, what? Who does this on a daily in China? Absolutely crazy. So it honestly just shows you, like, it's so dumb. Like, I don't feel like there's any need to talk anymore about the Hasan thing. Like, it's dumb because that's just not China. I dare Hasan to criticize the CCP, but knowing him, he'll still continue to glaze China. No, he won't do it because there's simply no reason for him to. He's getting paid for this trip. He has likely a huge kickback to be made from it. And I simply think, actually, Hasan probably just agrees with a lot of the things. Like, the tankies on the left and then the far right, both, for some reason, agree. Like, remember when Tucker Carlson was in Russia? And then he was like, dude, oh, it's so crazy that Russia has all these, like, cheap things and whatnot. Hey, David, I've been following you for a while now. I keep seeing the news talking about China and all the innovative technology, but no one ever talks about the problem except you. Thank you, man. Oh, thanks very much, Simo. Bro, please cover story rude China tourist in Malaysia. There's a lot of case lately. They throw hot coffee at our barista, cutting lines, even use knife on road. Yeah, well, I plan to cover more of that, but I know what you're talking about. It's actually crazy because honestly, I think the Chinese tourists don't really see Malaysia as a destination for the luxury. I don't know if you understand what I mean, because so I learned this the other day. Apparently, people in China, when they say you look Malaysian to a Chinese person, it's a derogatory term. It means you're dark, you're short. It's a bad way of describing someone when they say that you look like a Malaysian in China. So when they go to Malaysia, they're not really there to think that they went to pleasure. It's kind of like when a person goes to, like, I don't know, when they go to Europe, right? For example, let's say Americans, they go to Europe. They think they're going there for like a luxury vacation because, the euro is a little bit more expensive than the US dollars. And then things generally cost more in Europe. But when they go to a place in, say, Thailand or Vietnam, they think they're going to a country, like a third world country, to spend their money, right? For Malaysia, China thinks that way too. They think that Malaysia is like their third world country of traveling. Whereas if they went to Japan, they would think that, oh, I'm going to a country that's like, much better, kind of like Europe, right? So that's why they do that in Malaysia. Where do we find Chinese videos like the ones you find? Well, you have to scour the Chinese internet to find those videos. Please fill me in on the dog eating. I have an account on another platform I over this subject on. I don't know anything about the dog eating thing. I don't follow the whole animal abuse and stuff like that. Because that stuff is too graphic for me. Is saying you look Mongolian a compliment then? No, I don't think so. I think it's also a derogatory term. Have you ever been to Taiwan? Yeah, I was there. When did I go? I went this year. I don't even remember now. I think in May. I went in May. Didn't know you did live streams. Oh, you're not afraid of the CCP? Well, I mean, I don't think I'm afraid, and I don't think they can catch me this way. What is this stream spam from BYD Europe? Hello there. Yeah, it's so short streams are a thing now, which is pretty good. By any chance you could go to Taiwan and buy that green tea scented perfume? I don't know what you're talking about. What green tea scented perfume? Dave, please give us a tutorial on how to find these videos. Okay, so a tutorial on how to find Chinese videos. Well, the first step is you go to douyin.com. And you need to be able to read Chinese, or you can search in Chinese, which shouldn't be hard. But up in the top here, you can type in, you know, something. Let's say I want to search about Japan, right? So I type in Japan, but in Chinese, and I can find videos of, you know, how they're describing this whole propaganda thing in China. So here I look down, you know, I see all the latest videos, and then up on the top right side corner, you have your default search. You have your newest published, and you have the most liked ones. So if you search the newest published ones, you usually find the latest videos on this, and you essentially have to just, you know, look for it. But if you have the Douyin app, the Chinese Douyin app, and you have the algorithm from scrolling, and then you can find videos much easier. But because I don't have the Chinese app, so I can only really search for things here. So you see there's a lot of videos on criticizing the Japanese prime minister, a lot of videos on, you know, what happens in the whole US Japan thing. If I want to search for things like oops. If I want to search for things like, why can I not search? You need to be able to type Chinese, otherwise it doesn't really work. But you search tofu drag, right? If you search just tofu drag, you just get the tofu drag recipes. So you need to search for tofu drag construction. And usually like the ones up at the top are the old ones. But so you find videos like this. There's a lot of tofu drags. Actually, I might end up doing more videos because I think there's a lot of new videos. So like the whole tofu drag thing is very much a common phenomenon in China. You go to Bilibili, which is like the Chinese YouTube. This is the Chinese YouTube, and you can find a lot of videos here as well. Bilibili, and then also I use X as well, because on Twitter you see a lot of videos, especially from people that get them directly from Chinese people. Still, nice people are friendlier in Taiwan. Chinese version of TikTok. Well, it's TikTok is the American version of Douyin. That whole website, well, that's just Chinese TikTok. So it is. It's literally a Chinese TikTok. Yeah, so I was born in China. I lived in China as a child, and then I moved to the West. Tofu drag happens everywhere in China, yes. When I went to Taiwan, did you buy some PC parts? No, I didn't. I still, honestly, I need to figure out why my whole stream is like, it only works on one of them is good, and the other one is just not. Like the shorts one, I think it's a little blurry at times. Let me check. I still honestly I need to figure. Well, it's pretty okay, I guess. But I tried to do so. I tried to do. I'm doing 1080p right now, but I tried to do 1440p, and it's just it doesn't really work. So, um, Cambodia supporting China. Well, they've long been infiltrated by the Belt and Road Initiative, so it's really tough. But the government is really in bed with the CCP. Huawei phones safe to be used outside of China's mainland. Well, I won't tell you to not buy anything, but I simply think you shouldn't buy it. Do you Hey David, do you anything about 9 dash at all? Are you talking about the 9 dash line? I've done videos on that before. Hello David, I was studying physics, that's why I couldn't come to the stream earlier. Well, thanks for joining us now, Praxicular. Thoughts on China if Japan are heading into the conflict now? Great question. I don't think they are. They're just verbally talking about the whole back and forth. I don't think it will escalate. But having said that, right now, I think the Japanese people are quite angry. And I think there's an opportunity for the Japanese to move towards abandoning their longtime policy of no nuclear, basically. So I think it's a good opportunity. Do you know if I can buy physical versions of Taiwanese and Chinese TV shows? I want to buy Meet Me at 10:06 and in between. I think you can check out Chinatowns. Guanzhang, yeah, but Guanzhang is like it's honestly, dude, I hate targeting individual people because I'm just like, you know what, at the end of the day, they do whatever they want to do and they want to seal their legacies a certain way. They do that, right? I just think like individuals, they even Hasan, I think like he gets to do whatever he wants to do. You know, if he wants to take money from China, so be it. There's nothing you can do to get angry at him, other than the fact that you try to answer the questions or you try to dispel the bad things coming out from those live streams because simply you know that they're not true. But what can you really do about somebody who just wants to be in bed with the CCP? You can't really do anything. Like that's how they view the world. That's what they think is true. You can try to tell them the truth about anything, but they won't accept it. Why is the USA government not watching these videos? Well, they should be. Maybe they are. Who knows? China-Pakistan relationship. Well, what I think about it, I think they shouldn't. But can I stop it? Probably not. A lot of countries are simply just in it for the money, and so Pakistan is a country that needs a lot of Chinese investments. Like, dude, it's very profitable to be a pro-China influencer. It's very profitable so if you are a pro-China influencer, you go to China, they'll treat you really well, right? They want your opinion. You're a KOL to them, right? You're a key opinion leader. So what you say matters to them a lot, in the sense that you help them, paint the image of China in the right way for them. Well, if you are in China, then you should be worried. If you're not in China, you should be fine. Athlete Caesar. Japan can go create nuclear. Well, yeah, that anxiousness comes from the fact that I think they didn't feel like they're it's the right time for them, right? But if you have the CCP who's threatening to chop the head off your prime minister, I think that's a serious enough threat, especially if they're showing their so-called forces around, and they know that Japan we know that Japan is a target. I think there's high time to worry about Japanese defense, and much less care or should be much less worries about the nuclear, or not even the nuclear itself, but like the image of having nuclear, Thanks very much, Hugh. Hope you have a good day. Thank you very much, Zoa Newser. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I think we'll end the live stream here. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Yeah, we'll maybe making a lot of new videos on all things China. So hope you guys enjoy and watch our channel. Continue your support. And thanks again for watching. Much appreciated. Happy Monday to everybody. We'll see you next week or next time.